here because the outside world rejects you.
Hey, what's up everyone? So we just got our first look at the upcoming Last Ronin prequel/sequel series that's going to be coming out called Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin, The Lost Years. Now I first saw this over here from IO9 from their website Gizmodo, and you can see the headline there. It says, "Return to the darkest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles timeline in The Last Ronin, The Lost Years." IO9 has an exclusive look at the prequel to the best-selling comic from Kevin Eastman, Tom Waltz, Ben Bishop, and SL Gallant. And then we can see a picture there of the cover that we've seen before of the Ronin standing there with a small town that looks like is on fire behind him. Here it says it's been 2 years since IDW's runaway hit comic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin arrived on shelves. An alternate universe tale starring a bitter Michelangelo as the sole survivor of the Turtles and their friend. Then it says soon fans can return to Mike's gritty adventures in the new follow-up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin, Lost Years. Right here we get a little bit of a quote from writer Tom Waltz, just talking a little bit more about how they came up with the idea. And then down here we do have some new info. It says, here are the full details on the comic, whose first issue arrives on January 25th. So it looks like as of right now, that's the release date. So mark your calendars. Now this is a super exciting follow-up, not just because we're going to get to see more of The Last Ronin, but at least in my opinion, it's because of the new generation of turtles that they're going to introduce in this. That's something that was teased at the end of The Last Ronin. We've already seen it in the synopsis for this new Lost Years book, which we've broken down in a separate video. And you can see other websites here reporting on it as well. So that's exciting. I wonder how they're going to handle a new set of turtles. Are they going to get the same names? Are they going to be completely new names? What colors will they use as headbands? What weapons will they use? We're going to see what's happening in this book. If you think about it, this is a pretty big moment in Ninja Turtles history. Real quick, let's take a look at this image here that was revealed before we take a look at the preview. This is super interesting. This image was shared by one of the people working on the book, Ben Bishop, and you could see one of the new Ninja Turtles' hands. It looks like we're going to get a look at them as toddlers. I'm not sure if this is going to be just for like a quick flashback or if we're actually going to spend a lot of time with them as little kids growing up. And then we get them later in their own book as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in this universe. I could totally see that as the approach they take. But there you go. There's one of the first images of these new turtles and it's one of their hands. But yeah, super exciting. New Ninja Turtles are going to be introduced, but there's also more. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 5-page preview that they showed off in this article. It looks like we have some Michelangelo dialogue narrating. He says, "The long path that led me to this moment is piled high with the murdered bodies of my family." And you see Michelangelo here looking up a mountain as it's snowing. And then off to the side, you can see all of his brothers and how they died. You see Raphael falling to the bottom of the river after he has been stabbed in the head. And then right under that, we see Leonardo, who, by the way, we never saw his body in The Last Ronin. We just saw the explosion and that was it. And this is the first time we've actually seen the body. And you see Leonardo there on a slab of concrete with some blood coming over it, and you can see the explosion that happened in the background, all the rubble and stuff. Super cool that they're getting to show this stuff. And then down here we have Donatello and Master Splinter in the snow, their bodies covered in arrows after they had gotten attacked by the Foot Clan in Japan. Super sad, super impactful images here. This Last Ronin story is a dark one. Then Michelangelo says, "My brothers, my father, our friends too." Then on the next page he continues with April O'Neil, Casey Jones, the Fugitoid, all victims of an ancient family feud. Oroku versus Hamato, all dead except for me. Now this is before he had found out April was alive, by the way. Let's keep going. He says, "So left with nothing to live for, I just started walking." And you see him put on some goggles. The narration continues up this cold and unforgiving mountain to meet my own end. The next page starts off with, "And I thought I'd found what I was looking for, a place to stop, to let go, to lie down, to die." Then he says, "I was wrong. Freezing temperatures, no water, and no food for who knows how long. And still my mutant body wouldn't let my spirit go. Neither would the voice that was suddenly whispering inside my head, 'This is not your destiny.'" Then we jump over to the next page. It says, "When spring finally arrived, I figured if I wasn't gonna die, I'd better get busy surviving. And it seemed like the universe agreed. The lost and lonely place I'd chosen to fall began to lift me up, providing me the sustenance I needed to live, and the solitude necessary for me to search deep inside myself for answers, any answers. For 3 years I meditated and religiously studied my father's journal, seeking balance in its words and pictures. And after a time, it felt like merely surviving had become actual living, and that I just might find the final peace I hoped for. But as unexpectedly as it had come, that time passed." And then you see a group of people approaching him, yelling "monster." You can see them talking to each other. One says, "It's some some kind of green freak. The other one asks, what's it doing here? And then a third one says, who cares? Boss says, no survivors. Kill it. And then Michelangelo's narration continues. He says, they charged at me like rabid dogs, practically frothing at the mouth in their mad rush to kill me. And you see Michelangelo getting rocks thrown at him, hitting him in the head, and you see him spitting out blood. Then his narration says, and unlike my attackers, I was in no hurry to stop them. Instead, I welcomed the pain, the death to come, and I imagined what my family would say if they were here. And then it zooms in on Michelangelo's face. Now, this is when the preview ends. But for those who don't know or don't remember from the original Last Ronin book, this is actually a recreation of what we had seen in that book, except it was during a flashback as he was briefly explaining this part of his journey. This seems like it's going to go a lot fuller into detail into what actually happened. And if you remember what happens after this in the Last Ronin book, he pretty much snaps, and it's implied that he kills these guys, or at the very least beats them up really, really bad from what I remember. That's going to be wild to see, and it looks like it happens right after this preview page here. But yeah, that's the end of the preview. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think. Are you excited for this Last Ronin, The Lost Years? What are some of your theories? Let me know down below in the comments, especially about that new generation of Ninja Turtles. To me, that's the most fascinating part about this. I'm curious how they're going to handle it. But thanks everyone for watching. Remember to subscribe if you're new to catch all these updates. Also follow on all the socials. Links are down below in the description, and I will see you guys in a little bit with another video. Take care.